First thing to do is to get what I call a bridge financial plan. So if you, for some reason, many Americans do not have money saved, that's usually not the people listening to this podcast, but if you're going to share it with somebody and say, hey, listen to this podcast, it's got some great advice on how to get through, the first thing you want to do is come up with a financial bridge that will get you through to the new normal, whatever that will look like. And what that means is we want to identify resources that we know we have, and then we want to identify all other forms of resources. Do you know that there's so many government programs out there that help people that they have no idea even exist? So you want to make sure that you really take it upon yourself to find out, besides PPE, which obviously has been, we need to get more funding if we're going to have PPP go on. Besides PPEP and unemployment, what other resources might exist in your local community? Lots of communities have funds that will help you get through and bridge this gap of time. Once we identify all the resources, then we really need to come up with a plan of what is reasonable. What can we afford for shelter and what can we afford for food? You will be surprised that once you take care of your basic survival needs of food and shelter for yourself and your family, that the stress will come down a notch. And that might mean something that's very painful. It might mean, hey, I don't have a job, we don't have any money for rent, unemployment's not going to cover it. Let's move out and move in with my family temporarily for the next 6 months until we figure out what this heck is going on here. I'm not suggesting to ditch your rent, but let's be realistic. If you're only getting so much on unemployment and you have to cover your shelter, which is a substantial amount of that, and pay for food for an entire month, perhaps the rent cannot be made anymore, and we have to make a decision that will allow us to meet our shelter and food need while living within our new financial means brought on by the pandemic. So the first thing is to get that financial bridge plan of action in place where it's very clear that now we're able to get through and basically